Hey guys, so is this finally the end of the battle for SM Entertainment? Because over the weekend, Hybe and Kakao apparently sat down and they had a come to Jesus talk about the crazy share price and how this takeover attempt had been turning into a game of chicken of who could pay more for these shares of SM Entertainment. And as much as we love the SM Entertainment artists and everything that they have done and the historic value of the company, the price seemed to be a little bit too rich. So is this finally the end of the takeover battle? Because we have throughout this whole process declared, oh, it looked like Hybe won. Oh, it looked like SM and Kakao won. Oh, it looks like Hybe won again. This thing went back and forth, but it looks like finally it has been settled. But yet, we're only halfway through the month, and the shareholder meeting is in 2 weeks. And in K-drama land, 2 weeks is 14 days, which, honey, in Korea, it's like a 2 episode per day type of drama twists and turns. So who knows what's going to pop up? Because I'm going to tell you, if I was writing this drama, I have another plot twist that could potentially come up. Who knows? But this has definitely been officially declared the end of the game of chicken for the management control of SM Entertainment, and it looks like Kakao has won because it had more money. But you know what you shouldn't be chicken about? Using K-beauty technology, the dual LED red light therapy, to simplify your skincare. Try to get rid of the stuff that you apply to your face in terms of the endless search and quest for that miracle cream. I do believe in high quality creams, serums, toners, the entire 10-step K-beauty regimen. I love it. I do it, but I know there are limits to it, and there is only so much that you can depend upon skincare products to do. They do a lot, but, and especially if they're Korean made, but if you really want to get down into the lower levels of your skin, the dermal, the epidermal, hypodermal level, where your collagen is created to stimulate it, and then also get the blood vessels flowing, the capillaries flowing, so that you have more circulation, because it's all about health and wellness. You got to get that blood flowing all over the place, and these devices will target those areas. So think about getting the bundle pack, work on your entire face one day, and another day just work on your eye region and have a relaxing meditation session with the heating pads that will give you a better relaxed feeling on your eyes than any cucumber slices can. Throw out the cucumber slices, just eat them in your salad, please. Stop putting them on your eyes. All right, guys, all that and more coming up, so stay tuned. So we got some statements from SM Entertainment and Hybe about the latest peace talks. Yeah, you know, it's not just about North Korea and South Korea and Japan, US, South Korea, Japan, and China and North Korea. We have also trilateral negotiations when it comes to K-pop. And they came to a détente, I would say, because it seems as if there was pretty much a peace agreement, but it almost sounds like an armistice, the way that North Korea and South Korea stopped the Korean War. And over the weekend, the main point was that both sides were saying that this price for SM Entertainment was getting out of control and it was affecting shareholder value at both companies, because the money that is being spent on SM Entertainment is the money from each company. And each company's own shareholders, Hybe shareholders, Kakao shareholders, at a certain point, they're going to be like, board of directors, you are going crazy with how much money you are spending on this. Do you really think that this is a battle to the death where, what if both of you are going, all of us, you're going to sink both of our ships over this feud? Well, so Hybe decided to pull out. They said, okay, fine, we are not going to pursue any more shares because Kakao had set that tender offer at 150,000 won, so about $150 a share. Remember, Hybe thought that it was going to win. It had it in the bag when they were offering $120 a share. This was when the war started. It was about $90 a share. Already, remember, $90 a share was also way higher than like the $60 to $70 a share that the price was last summer. So the biggest winner that a lot of analysts are saying was basically Isuman. Isuman was, the largest shareholder. He was able to sell his shares at an inflated price during this whole pricing war, price that he probably would have never gotten unless there was a bidding war for SM Entertainment. Secondly, we got a little bit more analysis on why this is so important to Kakao. Yes, Kakao has been pursuing the bolstering of its entertainment roster for Kakao Entertainment. It has acquired many artists through acquisitions of their smaller management companies. But what is the end goal? Is their end goal to be these purveyors of great K-drama, K-pop artists? Well, it looks extremely clear that they really need Kakao. The reason they're willing to go to the bat for it is that they want to spin off Kakao Entertainment for its own IPO. So, yes, right now you can buy Kakao stock, which includes Kakao Entertainment. But the goal for that company is actually, let's get asset values up within our Kakao Entertainment division and then spin it off into its own company and sell it on the stock market. And thereby, that brings more returns to the company and more returns to the investors. So in a way, when we're looking at this chicken game, they had a lot to gain by kind of like spending money to make money. Hey, throw in $1 billion for SM Entertainment. And if SM Entertainment really brings the amount of heft now to be able to create an IPO, initial public offering for Kakao Entertainment, then they might just make the money back almost immediately within maybe 1 or 2 years when they want to spin off Kakao Entertainment. So for them, that made a lot of business sense. And in terms of just, spending money on it, that's why they were so willing to go there. Hybe, it was a little bit tougher because they have a lot less money to throw around. And for them, it was really going to be absorbing it into their existing business model. And they wouldn't have like a quick kind of like growth hormone of an IPO because there's nothing, they wouldn't be able to spin off anything else and create more capital that comes back. For them, it's really about like spending the money and then putting it, if it's like a house, like adding it onto the house you're living in and you can't sell that house, you have to keep living in it and making sure that add-on is creating value. Whereas it seems as if Kakao, with the SM acquisition or a SM type of control, they are going to be able to, get like a multifamily unit. It's just kind of like a business decision where eventually, that makes it a little bit more suspect because it's the way that Kakao had presented themselves was saying that they're going to keep SM separate, that they're going to keep SM Entertainment a separate company that's going to be traded on the stock market. But how are you going to then use SM Entertainment as part of Kakao Entertainment's IPO if it doesn't include it officially into the corporate umbrella? So I can see how definitely Kakao is taking steps, saying for right now, oh, we're gonna, keep you separate. But then they already showed their cards. They want to do an IPO. So unless there's another corporate way to do that, I think that eventually we're going to see Kakao take more steps and acquire the remainder of SM Entertainment and then be able to do its IPO and create more money. So Kakao says that it's going to continue to honor its tender offer of 150,000 won per share until March 26th, and perhaps they've already gotten all of the people signing up for it, because on Monday, SM Entertainment shares plummeted 23.48% to about 113,100 won per share, like 113 bucks. So if they were still offering the tender offer, you can buy it at 113, or if they still have room, like on the wait list for the tender offer where you can trade your share for $150, you can buy it now for $113 and then just make a profit. But the fact that it dropped, it sounds like they've probably have all of the 25-30% that they wanted to acquire already. People have already maybe signed up for it. And then on Tuesday, the stock went slightly up to 115,200 won. So that indicates to me that, if people can just make a quick buck, like in 2 weeks, turn it over to get $150, then why is the stock price not near $150 still? So it seems as if to me they've probably found most of the people taking them up on the tender offer. Although the devil's in the details, because we saw that the Hybe offer did not get picked up at all, according, but that was because the stock price went over their tender offer, so that drew it kind of into a moot point. But we really need to see whether they have really secured enough control. For Hybe's side, they haven't said what they're going to do with their about 15% of shares, and where the remainder of Isuman shares going to go. Are they still going to pursue and buy the remainder of those shares? And has spent a lot of money for nothing, because they announced that they're not going to put forward their candidates for the board of directors. Maybe for the outside positions, they said that they're still going to propose that as a measure, but for the main control of the company, they've given up. So of they've given up. And so right now, they basically are holding on to very expensive shares of SM Entertainment with actually nothing really to show for it. Unless we can read into what the statement said. They said that after Kakao and Hybe met, that they decided to call peace on the whole battle over money, and also cooperate on platform technology. So it looks like Kakao is trying to convince Hybe to play nice and say, like, we'll give you some sort of technology transfers, or we'll integrate like Weverse into Kakao, or making promises. But in K-drama land, even if it's in writing, honey, even if it's in writing, wouldn't trust it until you see it. No, not even until you see it. Until Hybe has some leverage that they can force Kakao to honor some sort of technology agreement. So right now, I think Hybe literally wasted hundreds of millions of dollars on this attempt. So I think, and especially now that the stock has dropped beneath their tender offer, and I believe more than the amount that they paid Isuman, they're at a real loss. Unless they made an agreement, maybe the 15% that they acquired is going to be going to Kakao for that 150,000 won price, and then they immediately made a profit. That would be great for Hybe, and that would make it easier for Kakao to guarantee like 15%, the basically more than half of what they were looking for, or about half of what they were looking for to get the control of the company. And that would be a peaceful resolution, and then that would give Hybe maybe a convenience fee for going through this whole mess and ending up with more money in its pocket than it started out, and that can go towards, you know, their artist development and whatever other corporate objectives they may have. So SM pretty much said the same thing in their statement. They said the competition was intensifying due to additional tender offers by Kakao and Kakao Entertainment, and showed signs that the stock was overheating and that it would not be good for the stock market, it would not be good for shareholder value for each of the companies, and that the share price really, it exceeded the appropriate range. Although everybody wants their, you know, their value of like your house or value of your stock to be as high as possible, you can see how this can create some sort of problems. And so they said that it would have a negative impact on everybody. And so, yes, they agreed that Hybe would suspend the process of taking over management rights from SM, and they agreed on ways to cooperate regarding platforms between the two companies. SM also said that Hybe expressed gratitude to all those who have supported and encouraged their SM acquisition. But is this drama for control over SM truly over? And have we truly seen the only players left on the stage? Now, if this were a K-drama, which it has been more than a K-drama, more unpredictable than a K-drama, and if I were writing this K-drama, this is what would happen next. This is what would have been happening. I would love to see at the shareholders meeting, suddenly the lights shut down and then boom, spotlight. And then you see girls from the girls' generation come out, and then they have like that version of, you know, the boys like, you know, they do that. We bring the boys out. Girls' generation make you feel the heat. That thing, but it's like we bring the shares out. Yes, an artist-led shareholder takeover revolution, because we haven't really seen the artists. And what would happen if somehow an artist consortium has been shorting the market, has been working with investors, finding money, or like working behind the scenes to gather minority shareholders, or working with institutions, or maybe even talking to Hybe again. Our girls' generation make you feel the heat. And gathering enough where the artists take over. Maybe, but you know, these SM artists, they're like, especially the senior ones, they all kind of like mix around with like the rich and powerful of Korea and around the world, and a lot of them have some access to grind still. Remember like Jessica Jung from Girls' Generation? She got kicked out and she just wanted to start her own skincare makeup line, probably because she wasn't being paid enough for all of her work for Girls' Generation. The JYJ team from 동방신기, they sued SM. I'm sure they still got access to grind. And what if some of them, you know, Super Junior, Girls' Generation, JYJ, 동방신기, maybe even a BoA, got together somehow, got some investors behind them, some savvy kind of like micro traders or flash traders or something, because this stock has been going wild. And if you knew what you're doing, and especially if they had some insider information, then they would know how to like trade, and maybe they would have come up with enough. I mean, $1 billion is a lot, and probably the artists, and out of all of them, the artists would probably not have access to like about 500 million to about $1 billion. But who knows? Who knows? They may have friends, like at like all of the security companies and like the trading people or like stockbrokers and investors from overseas. And it would be interesting if did this. I don't know. Is it an SM thing? They're always doing stuff with their head like this. Like Girls' Generation went like this. aespa's going like this. Like it's arms, pose. I guess it's a pose thing. Their choreographer likes to pose around their face because they're like all the pretty ones. Because when you really think about it, if Hybe did not turn over its shares to Kakao, that's 15%, which means that the artist would only need to cobble together about 25%. Now the stock is a lot lower right now, and had they shorted it from $150 to now $115, perhaps they would be able to cobble together another few percentages and then get some of the minority shareholders to vote their way, because 60% of the stock is owned by normal people, and those are probably more like the fans of the artists. And then what leverage would they have when they go to the board meeting? Because you got to have some of the shares, but you also got to have some of that tough, like this way or no way. Well, what if all the artists band together and they say like, well, we're not going to renew our contracts, or whatever kind of mechanisms they have? How like Taylor Swift like re-recorded all of her old songs. Like, I don't know if they can do that. I don't know what their contracts are, like what artist copyright law here is in Korea. But what if they figured out a way where basically they can say like, this company's worthless without us, because it is all about the artists. And that's how I would write the K-drama, that it would be an artist-led coup d'etat that ends up as the first K-pop management agency owned and operated by the artists. Well, like a mega one. I think some of the smaller ones are kind of like, they run it themselves. But like a mega one, like one of the big three. And that would be total like revenge plot, maybe that like the JYJ and Girls' Generation had been like, brewing for like a decade, just like, like that girl did on The Glory. If you haven't seen it, amazing K-drama on Netflix. It's been blowing up Netflix right now. So if you want me to do a review or kind of like a breakdown of it, let me know in the comments. So what do you guys think? I mean, are you okay now with Kakao being the winner? I can't believe we've called this race so many times, so I can't be confident in any conclusion until it's like over and over and over, like totally over, because who knows what kind of surprise is gonna pop up again. And I would love it. I would love it if they brought the shares out and made an artist revolution. I think it's time to see the artists take control. Don't know whether they're really good at like, management or business or that kind of stuff, but they all do businesses and they all seem to do fine. And I do know like a lot of stars, even out of SM Entertainment, who have started their own small businesses, and they do have a business sense. They got a business savvy. So, I wouldn't count them out. All right, guys. Well, put your comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.